Transitory.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hari ini seperti yang gua bilang kemarin bahwasanya kita bakal melanjutkan untuk quest Archon yang ada di Fontaine. Dan seperti yang kalian tahu bahwasanya kemarin terakhir itu kita merencanakan sebuah drama, di mana drama itu adalah untuk membuat penghakiman untuk Archon Hydro kita, yakni si Furina, untuk bisa mengetahui tentang ramalan yang terjadi atau yang akan terjadi di Fontaine. Jadi tanpa basa-basi lagi, mari kita lanjutkan untuk quest Archon kita yang ada di Fontaine. Dan baru kali ini seorang Archon itu diberikan penghakiman, walaupun cuman sandiwara, cuman ya kayak gimana ya guys ya. Kalian tahu sendiri kan bahwasanya 3 Archon yang kita 4 Archon yang kita temui itu keempat-empatnya ini memiliki ceritanya masing-masing, dan cerita yang ada di Archon Quest Fontaine ini tuh bener-bener mungkin bikin kita plot twist juga nanti, karena gue juga menantikan hal itu. Jadi mari kita langsung aja ke questnya. Sebelum itu gue bakal nyapa kalian dulu yang barusan datang, yakni Columbina. Halo. First, iya, akhirnya Fur dihukum. Oke guys, kita bakal langsung aja menuju questnya, dan kita bakal ke penyamaran sang berdosa chapter 4 bagian 5, dan judulnya adalah Hari Penghakiman. Temui Furina di Poson. Ramalan akan digenapi dan rencana sudah dipersiapkan dengan matang. Sekarang tinggal mengadili dewa. Halo Kak Black. Oke guys, sebelum event ini gas event untukmu. Udah selesai gue event. Hai Furina, hai Columbina, hai Kak Black. Oke guys, gue nggak bisa nyapa lagi kalau gue udah mulai questnya. Jadi gue minta maaf bahwasanya kalau gue harus fokus ke quest terlebih dahulu. Oke, ada Nopal, Yalan, dan The Gang. Oke, kita bakal coba lihat. Oke, ikuti target ya. Targetnya kita bakal ke Poson. Kita teleport terlebih dahulu. Seperti yang terjadi kemarin ya.
This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Farina really be here?
Kita harus temui dia secepatnya. Oke guys, seperti biasa gue nggak bakal baca baca komen terlebih dahulu, karena takutnya kalian tuh banyak spoiler di komen ya. Jadi mari kita lanjutkan untuk quest Archon Fontaine di bagian capture 4 bagian 5. Kita bakal ketemu sama si Furina, alias kita cari si Furina di mana. Kita bakal temui Furina dengan si Raiden selaku sama-sama Archon di sini. Hai. Dia di mana sih BTW si Furina nih? Akan seperti apakah ceritanya, ataukah ini sudah mencapai plot twistnya? Gue juga belum tahu ya. Jadi di sebelah mana, di tengah-tengah situ ya? Nggak kelihatan anjir. Ya udahlah, masuk aja dulu ke daerah kuning nih. Oke, cutscene dimulai. Oh, dia lagi meratapi air ya.
That's Farina right over there. She really is here all on her own.
Oke.
Should I just give up?
Oh my god. Aduh, udah dong, jangan pakai nangis-nangis segala, please lah. Oh, please lah, jangan pakai nangis-nangis segala. Gue udah nangis di Navia kemarin. Ayolah Fur, jangan gitu. Apa aku menyerah saja? Semua ini tidak ada artinya.
What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead.
Gak bisa anjir, gak bisa. Soalnya gini ya, seseorang yang biasanya periang, habis itu biasanya tuh dia gak seberapa peduli dengan semua masalahnya dia hadapi dengan senyuman. Tiba-tiba dia harus meneteskan air mata seperti ini. What the how? Oh my god. Lihat kan, apa yang seharusnya terjadi pasti terjadi. Semua orang pasti mati.
I'm sorry.
Maaf.
I'm so sorry.
Gue gak bisa anjir lihat dia nangis. Malah keinget dia lucunya. Malah gak bisa nangis sih sebenarnya. Sorry ya Fur.
Give up, Farina. Farina. There's
Oh
no
my
point in
God.
holding out.
Bertahan juga percuma. Oh, wah nggak bisa nih. Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry. But what can I even do?
Tak bisa apa lagi
Other than to
aku
repeat
selain mengulang
meaningless
permintaan maaf yang
apologies
tidak ada
over and
artinya.
over. Who's that?
Me, traveler.
Don't worry, Farina. It's just us.
Tuh, dia berubah lagi loh suasana hatinya.
Non-traveler from another
Oh my
land.
God.
Why, I almost thought you were someone from that mob of my ignorant subjects. Come to kneel and beg for my forgiveness.
Bersimpuh mohon ampun di bawah kakiku.
Farina, you were crying just now, weren't you? The tears.
What do you mean, tear
Hmm.
stains? Oh, I remember. The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was so moving. I'm still trying to process it.
Dia sedang menyembunyikan kesedihannya sih. Orang yang seperti ini tuh memang menyembunyikan banyak sekali rahasia, dan ketika dia sendiri biasanya dia bakal menangis dalam kesedihan itu. Oh.
Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were? Disturbing my enjoyment of the arts.
Sumpah sih ini anak pengen dibawa pulang. Gacha dia kayaknya.
They even dare to doubt their
Meragukan
Archon.
Archon.
I must teach them a lesson. I can just imagine their twisted and frustrated faces once they realize that I'm nowhere to be found.
Pagi Kak, pagi Naoki. Baru mulai loh Kak. Iya ini baru mulai. Beda orang yang sedang menghayati dan skip story. Siapin tisu banyak-banyak guys. Iya guys, yang jadi daya tarik dari Genshin itu di lain gacanya dia, selain gacanya itu storynya tuh bagus. Maka dari itu gue pengen menghayati banget dan gue nggak mau mencoba untuk men-skip tersebut, apalagi nih quest story Archon, yang dimana quest story Archon ini tuh menjelaskan segala sesuatu yang mungkin berada di Teyvat dan segala sesuatu kejadian yang akan ada ke depannya gitu loh. Jadi gue mau fokus ini terlebih dahulu, nanti kalau gue ada kesempatan untuk baca chat kalian gue pasti baca, oke?
Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Marsh Say Phantom are freaking out right next to them too.
Oh sumpah, itu di balik ketawanya dia pasti ada kesedihannya dia sih sebenarnya si Furina deh. Tuh.
Of course not.
Oh, pengen gue peluk sumpah nih anak, ya Allah. Menyembunyikan sesuatu ya, apalagi kesedihan tuh nggak bagus guys. Nyesek di hati sumpah.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there!
Wah,
Quick, after her!
apalagi dikejar-kejar seperti ini sama warganya sendiri gitu loh. Dan dimintai pertanggungjawaban.
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are. They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they haven't been able to meet me in person, aren't they?
Oh my god, dia masih menyembunyikannya dengan kata-kata seperti ini. Come on, Furina.
That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
Farina just ran off.
Halo, halo.
Quick, we have to catch up with her.
Kita bakal kejar dia. Dia bakal kemana ya? Bersembunyi kah atau apa? Oh.
This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them.
What? What?
Hurry, they're almost here.
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted.
Oke. Kita masuk kemana?
tired. I totally thought they had caught me.
Kak, naikin volume game dikit kak. Oke, bentar ya. Perlu dinaikin seberapa guys? Segini kah? Cukup nggak? Terus gini. Volume gamenya kayaknya udah gue naikin tinggi deh. Bentar ya. Udah belum? Oh, soalnya nanti pas scan lagunya bagus. Ya udah gue naikin. Oke, lanjut.
No, I mean, I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they displayed.
Di sini tidak kedap suara.
You're right.
Gitu aja.
Yep, that's a good girl.
Oh,
What's happening? The ground's shaking.
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's happening again.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Novelette's made some emergency plans, so...
Yeah, I hope you're right.
I hope you're right.
But the people of Poisson, they've already...
Oke.
It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years.
Guys, gimana? Suaranya udah cukupan atau belum nih? Atau perlu ditingkatin lagi suaranya? Kayaknya suara in-game-nya udah gedein deh, by the way. Oke, kita bakal mulai ya. Betul, aku sudah menyelidiki ramalan itu selama ratusan tahun, oke?
I once had informants all over Teyvat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways too to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing.
Oke.
But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled. Give up. I do love the sound of that phrase.
Artinya aku bisa
It would
berdamai
mean
dengan takdir
finally
dan
coming
bisa
to terms with
terbebas dari
fate,
semua ini.
but also for me to finally be free.
Tapi itu artinya semua harapan akan lenyap.
Indeed. I've thought about giving up so many times, especially after we almost lost Poisson. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no heart and obeys no rules. The prophecy has only just started to come true, and so many people have already lost their lives.
Oh my god.
But just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come to terms with fate on behalf of everyone else.
Oke.
As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still
Semuanya
not too
belum
late.
terlambat.
Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for everyone until the very end.
Oh.
Well, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to play the stricken maiden, but honestly,
Nah,
considering
cukup
my
sudah.
rank
Tadi
and
aku ingin
station,
berperan
that
menjadi
wasn't a
gadis
good fit at
galau,
all.
bunda gulana, tapi tidak cocok sama sekali ya. Enggak sih, itu adalah jati diri sebenarnya dirimu sih, Fur. Dia menyembunyikan sesuatu lagi gitu loh, guys. Setelah dia terbuka dengan apa yang dia ungkapkan,
Don't take any of
atau
what I
yang
just said
dia
seriously.
rasain.
How could I possibly let Fontaine fall to the whims of trivial prophecy?
Oke.
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest just now.
Iya. emang seperti dia yang sebenarnya gitu loh, yang tadi tuh. Kita kehabisan waktu, tidak boleh kembali ke titik awal seperti ini, harus dapat informasi lebih banyak. Oke. Kita pilih itu. Oke, coba ini.
Share my burden.
Memikul beban bersama-sama. Dalam nih omongannya si traveler.
That's impossible. It was
Ini ada
fated
tugas yang
right
diberikan
from
untuk
the start
seorang
that
diri.
this would be my duty alone.
Ini ya guys ya, jangan pernah memikul segala sesuatu itu berlebihan ya. Apalagi segala sesuatu itu kalau bisa diceritakan ke orang lain bisa lebih ringan, atau mungkin bisa lebih ada bantuan gitu loh dari orang lain, dia diberikan solusi, daripada kalian terus memendam, terus akhirnya bertumpuk, suatu saat akan meledak gitu loh. Sama seperti apa yang mungkin akan merasakan oleh si Furina. Jadi usahakan ya ceritakan segala sesuatu yang memang mungkin dipendam oleh diri kalian sendiri ke orang yang memang menurut kalian tuh bisa dipercaya. Tapi meski beban itu bukan untuk dipikul bersama, nah kamu kan bisa cerita sama orang kan, nih orang yang dipercaya sih lebih tepatnya. Cerita saja sama aku, anggap saja aku ini saksi. Oke.
Yes, I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're
Penonton.
just a spectator, aren't you?
Yep.
If that...
Waktunya hampir habis, Furina cepat ngomongnya. Dia cerita kah? Cerita kah dia? Jujur gak nih anak? Oh. Ya, mau jujur gak jadi, bejir. Wait, kok tiba-tiba ada di sini? Ya dia jelas kaget lah. Wah, sumpah gue gak tega anjir.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without
Dan
further
sekarang
ado,
kita akan lanjutkan
we
dengan
may
mengadili
proceed to
sang
the trial
dewa.
of our god.
Are you sure, Lini?
So, this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes.
Ini gua aja udah deg-degan anjir, sumpah.
Do not forget, however, that I am Fosalor, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very concept of justice to trial?
Oke, tapi ingat, aku ini adalah dewa keadilan Vocalors, perwujudan dari keadilan itu sendiri. Tidakkah kalian rasa ini konyol, mengadili keadilan?
May I interpret these words
Oh,
as your refusal to stand
apakah
trial?
ucapan barusan dapat ditafsirkan sebagai pernyataan bahwa Anda menolak persidangan ini?
In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend
Mentahkan
your
kehormatan
honor
lewat
through
dulu.
a duel.
What? Ini keterlaluan sih, ini sandiwaranya nggak bisa gitu, bejir. Gue gak lihat, gue gak lihat. Wah, gak jelas. Musuhnya si Klorin lagi gitu loh. Si kecil sama si Mommy.
You would draw your blade against a god?
Oh. Wah. Walaupun ini cuma sandiwara tapi wah.
I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Gua yang deg-degan, bejir. Oh. Dia munculin pedangnya dia kah? Oh, dia menyerah.
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
Dia menyerah. Sumpah ya, dari semua quest Archon ya, ini ngalahin Raiden sih, sumpah. Ini ngalahin quest Archon Raiden sih, sumpah. Kalau disuruh pilih ya gue mending pilih sini sih, quest Archon si Furina sih. Dari sini aja bikin gue deg-degan bejir. Kayak gak bayangin Furina ngelawan Chlorine.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Wah, ini nih mulut-mulut netizen nih, biasanya mulut-mulut netizen nih yang nggak pernah tahu kebenaran di belakang hal kenapa si Furina menyerah itu apa. Dengan entengnya dia ngomong ada apa ini, Archon menyerah pada manusia. Hei bapak, tonton dulu, Anda ini penonton ya.
Wow, how utterly humiliating.
Ini omong-omongan netizen nih, omongan orang-orang yang gak suka sama kita nih, bayangin aja nih kayak gini ya. Memalukan, sungguh memalukan. Anda tidak tahu apa yang terjadi, jadi diam. Jangan menghakimi sesuatu hal yang belum tentu Anda tahu kebenarannya, ibu penonton.
Lady Farina, what is the meaning of this?
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not
Dia
always
masih
an
nyangkal tapi
indication
becir,
of
ini Furina.
surrender.
Dia sandiwaranya banyak sih Furina nih.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
Tuh kan, Paimon aja ngomong alasan terus, bosan katanya.
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No duel shall be necessary.
Guys, gue gak baca chat dulu ya, gue mau menghayati bener-bener ini cerita ya.
I will admit that I've been running away
Terus
for a long.
menghindar,
I'm
ya.
sorry, everyone. I
Aku
was
gagal
unable
melindungi
to
warga
protect the
Poison.
people of Poisson.
Dan aku lagi
It is
untuk
my
kesalahan
duty to
tersebut.
stand trial for my crimes.
Oh my god.
You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I too am exceedingly disappointed in myself.
Sumpah gue ngerasa kasihan sama dia, becir.
But now, it is time for the Hydro Archon to show you her courage and resolve. I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice.
Ini kata-katanya dia yang ada di teasernya dia ya waktu 4.2 apa 4.1 ya, gue lupa. Pokoknya waktu di Neo Village ada di belakangnya deh. Gue udah lihat teasernya itu guys.
This time,
Dan kali ini aku akan
I
melindungi
will
kalian.
protect you.
Oke. I will
Applaud
protect you.
and rejoice! One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before your eyes. Mark my words.
Oh.
This shall be one of the most
Salah satu paling luar
exhilarating and
biasa yang pernah
brilliant
ditampilkan di
shows
panggung
ever to
Fontaine,
grace the
sidang Archon
stage
Hydro.
of Fontaine. The trial of the Hydro Archon, Focalor, will now begin!
Will know begin. Sumpah ini kata-kata yang dia muncul di itu sih, di teasernya dia sih. Sumpah sih yang ngisi suaranya Furina GG. Dia bisa memberikan suara yang bisa, maksudnya dalam melambangkan Furina itu seperti apa gitu loh. Dan itu bagus sumpah. Gila. Anjir gak jelas.
Now we're making history.
Sama seperti thumbnail gua adalah apa? Adik-adik? Adik-adik dong. The biggest drama in Fontaine. Dramanya Furina nih. Tapi sebenarnya gue kasihan sih kalau di situ, gue pengen peluk dia, bawa lari gitu. Main ke akun gua, Mbak, gitu.
Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes?
Gue setuju sih sama Paimon sih, kok bisa segampang itu dia ngambil alih gitu.
Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
Dia masih lebih seperti biasa.
Alright then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
Gua tebak ya, ini kan masalahnya ada di Poison. Dan si Furina kan tanya, baiklah siapa lawanku di persidangan ini? Nah, Poison sendiri itu adalah tempatnya si Navia. kemungkinan adalah lawannya si Furina adalah si Navia.
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is
kita.
that so?
Loh,
Very well. Then please speak, witness of Tivat, my accuser and fated opponent.
kok gua? Kok gua? Kok gua? Kok gua? Harusnya sih Navia gak sih? Soalnya dia orang-orangnya Navia. Gagal total, bejir, tebakan gua. Padahal sudah hampir mendapatkan kembaran darinya, tapi akhirnya masih harus seperti ini juga. Aduh, kita ngelawan dia. Dia nanti nggak mau datang ke akun gua dong kalau gue gacha dia. Nggak gini ceritanya, ya Allah. Tidak apa-apa, masih ada kesempatan untuk tahu kebenaran asalnya Furina kalah di pengadilan. Oke guys, sekali lagi gue ingetin sama kalian, gue gak bakal baca komen terlebih dahulu karena gue mau menikmati quest ini, cerita ini, oke? Yang gue gak habis pikir kenapa gue ya? Harusnya kan itu orang-orangnya si Navia, harusnya Navia gak sih? Ya udahlah, disuruhnya kayak gini ya.
Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins. Just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
Apa saja yang kalian persiapkan untuk dapat bisa membawaku ke panggung ini?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
Kenapa tadi itu? Ini memang harus diomongin juga ya, Mon ya?
I can go over
Rapatnya
the
ya?
tasks assigned to the Spina
Oh,
di
Navia di
Rosula,
bawah.
since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Ada Charlotte juga, ada Chlorine juga. Ini seharusnya duduknya kita gak sih?
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
The president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the opera house as regular audience members, waiting for the perfect opportunity to... The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. A spark was all we needed to turn smoldering anger into... Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson by yourself. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also from the Spina?
Di Rosula.
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontainian history.
Wah, drama mereka gigi sih. Line, Navia,
That's right. That house was a magic box rather than
mainkan
someone's
sebuah kotak
residence.
sulap.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epicles,
Okay.
the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Aranias. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon
Archon.
instead of a human.
Bukan lagi manusia.
My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off.
Untuk pertama kalinya ya kita dibantuin Fatui loh. Ini yang biasanya kita bunuh ya. Yang biasanya kita meninggoy ini monster-monsternya ya. Kita dibantu bejir sama mereka.
We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open a...
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box,
That's right. It
That's
wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
then I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts.
Oke.
You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch.
Agar segera
Am I
setelah aku
right?
naik panggung, sidang bisa langsung dimulai tanpa kendala. Betul kan?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist in all of Fontaine would...
Thank you. Gak habis pikir gue bilang thank you loh
As
dia.
for you, traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me distracted. You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage. Oh? Is that so? Then I suppose I must have missed my final It's fine. It matters not. What's done is done. The stage is already set.
Dan aku
So
tidak
there's
ingin
no
menonton
reason to
penonton
disappoint the
kecewa.
audience.
Mari kita jalan persidangan ini sampai
Let's
selesai.
see this trial through to the
Oke. Mengadili Archon Hydro. Apa yang ingin Furina katakan padaku sebelum sampai di pengadilan?
Madam Prosecutor, please allow me. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her...
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Oh, let Paimon see. Wait. Then that means this document is a perfect timeline. So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence. Let's
Okay.
quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it
Apa
as a
Charlotte juga adalah
refresher,
salah satu
alright?
dari bagian rencana kita ya?
defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duel you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right. I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I'd been following. This is the first time Monsieur Nervillette had a difference of opinion with the oratories.
Siapa
Even the
saja
Hydro
beri
of the
dukungan
Tui Harbinger.
50.000.
Oh,
Semangat
terima
terus
kasih.
natap wajah
Her instinct
tersenyum.
must mean something.
Terima kasih. Semangat terus buat aku. Terima kasih ya semangatnya ya. Terima kasih sekali. Semoga rezekinya selalu lancar dan gacanya selalu dilancarkan juga. Terima kasih ya Kak. Sehat-sehat selalu. Terima kasih. Terima kasih. Terima kasih ya guys untuk kalian yang selalu dukung gue. Makasih. Oke, kita balik ke ceritanya. Sebenarnya ini yang dikumpulin Charlotte itu udah kita bawa nggak sih seharusnya tuh bukunya. Cuman ditambahin beberapa keterangan dari dia juga yang baru-baru ini mungkin ya.
The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed in a single day.
Oke.
According to Monsieur
Menurut
Nervillette,
ketika itu
both child and that whale should have been in. I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest, that still gives me shivers. The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly understood when
Oh,
something
ini juga
surreal
dimasukin ya?
happens to you.
Oke.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come on, Nervillette. There's no need to repeat all the unimportant
Dia masih
legalese.
tenang-tenang aja loh Furina nih. Gue sih udah dedek Fur.
Just fast forward to the part
Kita
where the
langsung lanjut aja ke
prosecution lays out my
lanjutan
offenses.
terdakwa.
As the defendant
Aku
and the
masih-
lead actress of this performance, I still haven't even been informed of my supposed guilt in all. Of course, it is only natural for humans to struggle to understand the actions of a god. However, you will need more than that to convict me of a crime.
Oh my god, dia pasti tetap. Wah, bentar. Mengadili dewa keadilan. Pagi-pagi, mantap ya mantap. Oh ngopi sama makan coklat. Kasari full senyum. Gimana ya? Gue lihat tingkahnya dia malah jadi full senyum, kakak sedih nih.
That's true. But my
Tapi
charge here is
tuntutkanku tidak ada
unrelated to your
hubungannya dengan
conduct as an
tindakanmu
Archon.
selaku. Oh, karakter kita ngomong guys. Gue tuh suka ya suaranya Lumin karena suaranya Lumin juga bagus gitu loh.
Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Kamu,
Naoki
aku
beri
ingin
dukungan
menuntutmu atas
5.000.
tidak pindah dan
Nikah
menipu.
cuman ada segini hehe.
Oh, terima kasih Naoki, terima kasih sekali ya. Gak apa-apa. Sebenarnya kalian udah mau nyisihin sedikit rezeki kalian buat aku tuh, gue makasih banget. Gue apresiasi banget hal itu. Terima kasih ya. Terima kasih banget ya guys ya. Semoga lancar terus, sehat selalu ya buat kalian semua. Tapi kenapa di sini tuntutannya kamu ini Archon gadungan? Apakah karena dikasih tahu sama The Knave kamu harus kasih tahu ini aja gitu loh, Archon gadungan dan lain sebagainya? Karena The Knave kan bilang bahwasanya kepada kita kalau si Furina itu tindak tanduknya itu nggak sesuai sama seperti Archon yang dilayani The Knave, yakni si Saritsa. Berbeda banget gitu loh. Jadi dia punya kemungkinan bahwasanya si Furina ini bukan Archon yang asli.
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Penipu?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for
Tapi selama ini dia bukan Archon sungguhan.
Charge accepted.
Tuntutan diterima. Gue rasa itu deh, kemungkinan itu dari The Knave sih.
Lady
Nyuruhnya
Farina,
gitu.
do you plead guilty to the charge?
Tuntutan tuduhan tersebut. Oh my god, Furina.
Lady Farina,
Apa bener dia bukan Archonnya? Gak mungkin sih. Tapi walaupun gitu, Vocalor siapa dong?
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty?
Gue tuh cuman ke spoiler yang Hydro Dragon, don't cry gitu loh. Berarti kan ada hubungan sama Novelet kan? Apakah Furina nanti berubah menjadi Vocalor? Aku menolak bagaimana mungkin aku bersalah.
There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your true
Kayaknya
Archon.
gue nggak bisa itu deh guys. Kayaknya gue nggak bisa ini deh guys. Gue nggak bisa nangis deh guys kayaknya guys. Kalian lihat aja sih ceritanya dia ya, omongannya dia. Tidak ada ceritanya aku Focalor alias Furina de Fontaine, bagian dari The Seven, satu penguasa segala air, penjuru, rakyat, dan hukum di Fontaine. Bukan Archon kalian yang sesungguhnya. Dia tuh masih muji dirinya sendiri. Gimana gue nggak senyum-senyum sendiri ya kalau gini ceritanya. Gue nggak jadi nangis bejir.
Yeah, even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either.
Aku tidak pernah
Sure,
melakukan
Lady
jati
Farina
dirinya.
can be super irresponsible, but what grounds does that prosecutor have to make such a huge claim?
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this
Hampir
case.
semua hadirin di bos.
Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There would be no fooling their memory. See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you sure you want to commit to a charge that will never be upheld?
Lihat, bahkan Oratrice Mekanik Denelis Cardinal pun memihak kepadaku. Kamu yakin dengan menuntutku dengan tuduhan yang tidak berdasar begitu?
If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the god of justice that you will not have to face trial for making a false accusation. We will treat everything that's happened as a dramatic spectacle.
An argument with near impossible odds, huh?
Kita harus
You have to
usul
not
laporan
only
refresh ke
refute
seluruh
Farina's
balikan
claims,
fakta yang
but
selama ini
also
dipercaya orang-orang.
overturn the long-held beliefs of the people.
Well, I tried to give you the chance to
Kalau
surrender.
masih
If
bersikukuh,
you must persist, then let me ask. If you believe I'm not the Archon, then what manner of being do you think I am?
makhluk apa aku ini sebenarnya?
And if I was not the Archon, then how did I manage to live for over 500 years?
Nah, ini. Dan jika aku bukan Archon, kenapa aku bisa hidup sampai 500 tahun namanya? Why gitu loh. Why? Sedangkan memang manusia biasa nggak mungkin kan sampai 500 tahun gitu loh usianya. Pikirkan baik-baik kira-kira apa yang spesial dari si Farina. Sumpah ya, gini Hoyoverse ya. Kita pengen menemukan jawabannya tapi gue disuruh cari jawabannya sendiri juga. Dengan harus menyusun segala sesuatunya ini. Mana otak gue kadang juga gak nyampe suruh nyusun kayak gini. Oke. Apa alasannya Furina bisa hidup begitu lama walaupun dia cuman manusia biasa? Oke, dari apa ya? Ini kah? Dari enggak. Child. Dalam pertemuan diplomatis bersama dengan dia mengungkapkan bahwa dia sudah menghampiri Furina sendiri. Dan dia yakin bahwa Furina bukan Archon yang sebenarnya dan bahkan ada kemungkinan dia this one.
First of all,
Mungkinkah?
you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess an extended lifespan. And second of all, even if that wasn't the case, there could be
Untuk terus
other ways
memperpanjang
to
usia
extend
mukanya.
your life.
Karena kenapa gue pilih The Knave ya? Karena dia yang mencurigai Furina itu bukan seorang Archon asli gitu loh. Dan kemungkinan memang tuduhan itu bisa dijadiin bukti untuk kita ngelawan dia kan. Misalnya kutukan.
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd
Kalian
seek so
seputus
low
asa itu
as to
sampai mau
use a
pakai omongan
harbinger's
Harpy untuk
words
melawan.
against me.
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse. But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
Neverlet sensed it too, huh?
Jadi Furina?
Lady Farina is actually a human?
Gak mungkin manusia juga sih.
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by looking at them. It's not
Oh, berbalik ya kedudukannya. Okay.
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been carrying a curse like you said, besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a
Dewa
god is the
dapat melakukan
possession
apa
of authority.
yang manusia
Gods
tidak
can
bisa
do what
lakukan.
humans cannot. That's why they're worshipped as gods.
Itulah kenapa kami disembah, oke?
For centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the nation of Fontaine. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the endemnitium that is used in every aspect of life.
Kalian cukup memandang ke arah Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal di gedung opera ini, atau mengingat indemnitium yang digunakan dalam segala aspek kehidupan kita. Tunggu, sidang ini membuktikan sebaliknya. Furina tidak bisa mengandalkan Oratrice sama sekali. Oh iya ya, harusnya kan dia yang bikin kan? Seharusnya kan dia yang bikin sistem Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal tuh si Furina kan? Tapi dia nggak bisa mengendalikan hal itu gitu loh. Tetap bisa dikendalikan sama warganya dia sendiri. Masuk akal. Kemudian berakhir ternyata kasus yang garis. Ternyata rawat bisa saya ini. Walaupun Albert tidak bersalah, tapi Oratrix malah memutuskan bahwa dia bersalah. Dan bahkan Furina sendiri tidak ada penyebabnya. Ini kan coba.
You tried to reference the Oratrice, but weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise, you should have come up with a good explanation for that by now.
Okay.
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult.
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order. While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else.
Saat
While
ini
you are an
terdakwa dalam
Archon, you are
persidangan.
also first and foremost the defendant in this trial. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the court.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
Gimana ya?
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that all should respect and follow.
Yang ada di sini. Okay.
So, you neither knew why child was declared guilty, nor did you understand instead of having been created by you,
Yang aku sebut tadi
the
itu berasal dari
manifestations
Archon
of
yang terakhir
authority
asli,
you
bukan
mentioned
kamu,
have been
betul
made
kan?
by the real Hydro Archon, haven't they?
The real Hydro Archon. Well, now you're really losing me. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict that day. But the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally, and it has been operating independently ever since it was. You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god behind it must also be no god at all.
Suaranya backsoundnya bagus ya guys ya.
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over the Oratrice.
Capek ya Mon ya, capek ya. Duh, alasan terus, kayaknya yakin banget kalau kita nggak punya bukti bahwa dia nggak bisa kendalikan Oratrice.
My power as an Archon. There are many ordinary citizens.
If that poses a concern, I'm
Aku sudah
prepared
siap
to extend
melindungi
my
para
protection
hadirin.
to the audience.
Oh, bisa dibantah langsung sama Noivillate.
You don't need to go that far.
Yang gampang, yang pemegang vision juga bisa. Silakan pakai kekuatan Hydro sedikit saja.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much less the authority of a god?
Bentar. Kamu Archon Hydro kan? Masa nggak bisa pakai kekuatan Hydro? Terus kamu dewa, terus kuasa dewa tadi apa kabar? Bukannya Furina udah punya vision ya? Kalau nggak salah dia udah punya vision gak sih? Selama kita ketemu sama dia, gue lihat kok visionnya.
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people, and I've converted the people's faith in just thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their daily lives. Have you ever seen a more magnanimous god?
Aku merelakan seluruh kekuatan dewa untuk menyediakan sumber energi bagi kehidupan sehari-hari warga. Apakah ada dewa lain yang lebih mengasihi pengikutnya selain aku?
Isn't that a huge stretch?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called a god?
Apa dewa yang tidak punya kekuatan masih pantas disebut dewa? I don't know. Oh, berarti Furina.
Seems like nobody's buying Furina's excuse.
Berarti Furina apa berarti kita ya? Di kita ya? Kayaknya nggak ada yang percaya sama ngasih Furina.
Hey, come now everyone. Please don't stare at me as if I was a liar.
Oh, berarti kita ya kayaknya tadi ya.
I'm still the same Furina you knew, right? The one that you loved. Shouldn't you want to believe in me? Please. You've got to believe me.
Omongannya dia udah kayak mau nangis, bejir.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed a grave offense.
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And all...
Duh.
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then. If I'm not the real Hydro Archon, then who is?
Sumpah ini quest Archon paling gue suka, sumpah.
If you have no evidence
kalau tidak ada bukti keberadaan Archon Hydro yang lainnya, dan kalau tidak ada seorang pun yang bisa menjadi saksi atas dasar apa kamu menuduhku sebagai Archon palsu?
Have you to say that I'm not actually the real deal?
Sumpah ya, awal dia keluar itu dia kan emang agak lucu ya. Tapi kalau tiba-tiba di sini jadi set, entah gue bisa tetap set atau enggak. Karena gue keinget sama kelucuannya dia waktu dia awal kita lihat dia. Atau gue bisa nangis nih ya. Gue nggak tahu nih, soalnya gue kebayang-bayang Furina tuh kebayang-bayang lucunya guys, bukan kebayang-bayang seriusnya dia gitu loh. Makanya dia ketawa mulu dari tadi sama dia nih, sumpah.
Wow. She came up with yet another argument. How can we refute her now? Seems like she really doesn't want to give up.
Kalau tidak bisa buktikan bahwa dia bukan Archon, ya tinggal buktikan saja bahwa dia cuma manusia. Kalau dia cuma manusia, biasa aja nggak sih buka bukunya? Gue kaget bejir, sumpah. Kasus ini terjadi di pertunjukan Line dan Line yang pertama di gedung opera. Walaupun tuduhan atas mereka sudah dibersihkan, namun identitas mereka sebagai agen House of the Heart sudah terungkap. Kebenaran di balik rentetan kasus hilangnya gadis-gadis. Apa ya? Bukan juga. Pintu masuk lautan Primada disegel di bawah zona terlarang yang diminta babat, dan belakangan ini ada lautan mulai hampir menembus gel-gelnya berkat kekuatan. Apa yang membuktikan kalau Furina memang hanya manusia biasa? Bentar. Oh, bisa jadi ini karena yang turun tangan itu si Neophyte bukan si Furina gitu loh. Bisa coba. Tumben. Oh, salah jir. Salah ternyata. Salah. Coba pilih ini. Salah juga ya?
That doesn't sound right. Paimon doesn't think this clue can be used as compelling evidence.
Paus dalam mimpi? Gak mungkin. Navia? Gak mungkin relevan juga. The Knave? Child? Salah. Oh bener.
Established that all Fontainians can dissolve in water from the primordial sea.
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all—
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court. Though you act in partnership with the prosecutor, you must still adhere to proper procedure.
Ya, Navia dimarahin Ayang.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really will be the last time that I'll speak out of turn. Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area, including those of— So, Miss Farina,
Berani
would you
tidak sentuh
dare
air
to
ini.
touch some of the seawater?
Oh, plot twist sekali. Kita disuruh sentuh.
If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching the seawater would have no effect on you.
Kena juga tidak bakalan
All it should do
kenapa-kenapa,
is
malah
strengthen
mungkin
your
bisa jadi
case.
bukti pendukung.
But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse.
Sumpah sih ini seru banget, sumpah.
Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years.
Okay.
If Lady Farina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontainian like all the rest of us. Would she really dare to
Berani nggak dia? Dia turun loh tapi. Dia turun tapi.
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm—
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as—
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word. It really does seem like she's quite terrified of it. That
Gue
could only
deg-degan, gue yang
mean—
deg-degan bejir.
What's going on? Is she really planning to— That's not what we thought she would—
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina, you may—
Oh!
Hey!
Sebenarnya mereka juga gak tega sih sebenarnya, tapi oh.
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! My hand is still here! I haven't been dissolved!
Ih, sumpah ini makin panjang bejir
Will you
tuntutannya.
believe me now? I really am your Archon! I'm nothing like a normal human who would fall apart as soon as they touch this water! Really? Was this not the most obvious thing in the world?
Kalian tahu nggak sih apa yang bikin hal ini tuh membuat semakin menarik? Penekanan-penekanan yang ada dalam ucapannya Furina, dubbingnya yang diisi sama orang yang ngomongin soal dialognya Furina ini bagus gitu loh. Jadi itu termasuk nilai jual dari ceritanya sendiri gitu loh guys. Penekanan suara ketika dia ngomong tuh GG sih. Kayak mencerminkan bener-bener ini drama bisa mengimplementasikan bahwasanya ini loh yang pengen gue ceritain ke kalian gitu. Dan ini berhasil. Dan menurut gue ini quest Archon yang paling gue suka sih Fontaine. Selama ini ketika gue quest Archon dari Mondstadt, Liyue, dan juga Sumeru, Inazuma, sepertinya ini mengalahkan Inazuma sih. Sumpah ini ngalahin Inazuma sih. Dari segi cerita dan dari segi dialog segala sesuatunya. Wah.
Miss Siegewing? If you're present, Miss Siegewing, please.
Siegewing?
Siegewing?
Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. That should be enough.
Ya sama elemen.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was
Mengalami
displaying symptoms of
hipertensi dan kulit yang
hyperventilation
merah.
and flushed skin. These indicate that she was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a similar...
Thank you, Miss Siegewing. Lady Farina, you may return to the defendant's stand.
Sumpah ya, si Jun sampai ikut-ikutan loh guys.
Oh wait, what did she just say? I didn't get dissolved. Shouldn't that be enough to...
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater around Poisson. However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. After all, on the off chance that something we don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Kami tidak ingin ada orang lain yang jadi korban air laut itu.
Yeah,
Oke.
so out of regard for Farina's life, you secured a low concentration sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert witness. It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Farina could have...
I can't believe... You...
Ayo dong, mana si epicnya cepetan apa? Tidak boleh tidak paham konsekuensinya jika manusia menyentuh air itu. Udah sekali dari yang dia biasanya, kecuali dia merasa kedagingannya harus dipertahankan, bahkan lebih penting dari nyawanya sendiri. My God, tampaknya dia sudah menyadari.
Listen to me, everyone. Please don't give me such cold and disdainful looks. What happened just now didn't prove a single thing. Think about it. How can you conclusively prove that an Archon can't also be affected by the Primordial? Also, if I was
Dia
really
mulai
just a
terpojok sih.
human, why would I dare to just put my hand in that kind of water?
Apa ya?
Please, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your Archon.
Duh, please jangan nangis dong, Fur. Sumpah, please. Duh. Wah, dilakukan sama orang terdekat sendiri tuh nggak seru sih, nggak enak beneran sumpah. Gue deg-degan sumpah anjir.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. The odds are just too stacked against her now.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's any way left for Farina to win.
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
Penjatuhan putusan. Dia nangis kah?
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. She's too stacked against her now.
Gue deg-degan anjir.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is...
Guilty.
Oh. Anjir, sumpah. Kayak gitu.
We shall now turn to the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges.
Gue deg-degan guys, sumpah guys, gue deg-degan sumpah. Apa keputusannya ya?
According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale, Farina is...
Well, what's wrong? What's the oratrice's verdict?
No, the oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus.
Archon Hydro
The
bersalah.
Hydro to be punished
Jadi jatuh
via
hukuman mati.
the death sentence.
Oh my god.
That's actually one of the available sentences? I've always thought that it was just a myth.
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court. And it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice? What an unexpected...
Farina's been sentenced to death by the oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth. How did things escalate this quick?
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah! Even Fache wasn't sentenced to death by the oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Farina has never... But now, the oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the High...
Gue deg-degan semua guys.
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still...
Fremine! You finally made it.
Mm-hmm. Any mission, Father.
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Fremine.
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. But has the trial already concluded? Then doesn't that mean I've come too late?
Enggak.
Oh no.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate. Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates.
Huh? So what do you see?
Aduh, si Farina diem aja anjir di atas.
I believe I have now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has...
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Farina. And, so when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kind of talking...
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of... However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
Hubungan tablet batu dan peristiwa yang terjadi.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other three...
Oke. Pilih untuk melihat deskripsi yang tergambar di atas tablet batu dan mengenai informasi penting darinya. Kamu bisa menggunakan skandal menemukan seiring dengan kemajuan proses pembuktian, tingkat air mancur pada halaman menu akan terus meningkat.
The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn. Does that mean that Fontainians are transformed Oceanids?
Paimon gak nyangka, tapi kalau Oceanid bisa jadi manusia, berarti yang sebaliknya juga bisa dilakuin dong.
slate shows Celestia floating in the sky,
Celestia yang
and the
melayang di
Hydro
langit.
Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still
Tapi
brought
hukuman
judgment down
langit
upon
nggak bisa dibatalin.
This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontanians were branded with their original sin. The third slate shows the Hydro Archon seeking into the sea surrounded by many people.
Oke.
That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch? Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontanians have been talking about.
Manusia larut
People
dalam
dissolving
air.
into the sea, the Hydro Archon
Dan
crying on
Archon
her
itu menangis
throne, and
sendirian
so
di
on.
tahtanya.
We didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we? But after that incident, it was just a question of when.
Oke. Bentar. Dari sini kita ambil dari siapa ya? Ternyata orang Fontaine bisa larut oleh air.
We know from the case of the serial disappearances of young women that Fontanians can be dissolved in and the first stone slate tells us that long ago the Hydro Archon used her power to turn ocean. This might be the reason that Fontanians can dissolve.
Oke. Tali batu menunjukkan ramalan menjelaskan sejarah di masa depan, menggambarkan Celestia yang melayang di udara, lalu Archon Hydro dan para pengikutnya menunjukkan memujanya bersama-sama, tapi langit masih tetap menjatuhkan hukuman pada mereka. Child kah? Bukan ya, soalnya gue kira bahwasanya masih tetap benar tapi salah gitu loh. Tadi dijatuhin hukuman. Furina. Dia yakin ramalan itu akan terjadi, tapi kamu tidak boleh menyerah begitu saja.
That doesn't sound quite.
Mulai nih otak gua nih. Oh bener.
Perhaps what is about to take place has all happened before. And the original sin cast down on the people of Fontaine by Celestia as recorded on the stone slates.
Oke. Oh Furina. Pilih yang mana? Navi jatuh ke dalam. Oh.
It's not as simple as falling into this. When Navia fell into the sea, her consciousness was the stone slates show the people gathered around the Hydro Archon in the sea.
Menunjuk ke peristiwa yang sama. Ternyata orang Fontaine bisa laut. Ini kah? Bukan berarti ini. Neophylit?
A prophecy from the stone slates found its way into society. The fortress of Meropide was nearly flooded with primordial seawater. If we hadn't dealt with it in time, things could have gone very badly.
Oke. Full ya?
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea, but won't cease
Tapi
to
sebenarnya
exist.
tidak mati, jiwa mereka
Their
mengalir
essence
ke
will
dalam
flow in
airnya
the
tuh dan
seawater.
menjadi oceanan.
The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson in a court with...
Okay.
The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meropide was the surest sign that the stone slate's contents can all be verified by recent events. If we combine... Huh? Oh, Paimon gets it now. So, but then it feels like...
Itu yang masalah pengen.
Let's hear them.
Taibatul pertama membuktikan kita bukan manusia.
All Fontanians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids as their basis.
Iya, bentuknya
The
sih
evidence
ocean
for that can be found in how only Fontainians could dissolve in primordial seawater.
Lalu fakta bahwa orang para gadis
were also turned. Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial. All of them in the shape of Oceanids.
Ah, bener juga ya, udah ada di Navia ya untuk. Wah.
Indeed.
Tablet kedua membuktikan ini kayaknya.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably anchored Celestia by creating humans without prior permission.
Dia menciptakan orang tanpa permisi
That could also
dahulu.
explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty.
The Hydro Archon's true sin
Dosa
was
Archon
creating
Hydro
us.
adalah menciptakan
And
kita.
yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate? In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be Did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many pieces of the truth.
Sebenarnya tuh yang bakal jadi MC itu kita apa Paimon ya? Soalnya yang ngomong banyak di sini Paimon, bujir.
However, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information. When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates.
Tapi karena saat itu hanya
But
ada
since we only had
kepingan
3
aku
slates,
ke
now
kesimpulan.
that the slate collection is complete,
Akan
I shall
sekali
make
lagi
another
mencoba
attempt to
menuliskan
decipher the
informasi.
narrative recorded within. If everything goes...
Emang bisa ya?
Well?
I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to briefly sum your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontainians and the sin in the Fontaine of old. The previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land.
Di Fontaine masa lampau, Archon Hydra dalam merasakan hasrat para pelayan Oceanidnya untuk hidup di daratan.
The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a... However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon as one of the 7 did not possess the authority to create, not one to give in. She eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this planet's... She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanid's blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontainians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids.
Oh, jadi warga Fontaine tuh Oceanid ya? Ya sih, menciptakan manusia selain Tuhan sendiri yang menciptakan itu juga termasuk dosa besar sih.
Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race.
Oke, benar.
And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the...
So we were all...
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never... Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin...
This really might be too much information for your regular Fontainian.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the 3rd and 4th stone slates was inaccurate. A key point of the visual on the 3rd slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are humans rather
Bentar,
than
kunci tablet
Oceanids.
batu ketiga adalah individu-individu yang digambarkan di dalam air adalah manusia bukan Oceanid.
They have not been dissolved,
Mereka tidak terlihat
which
air yang
implies that the
digambarkan
water
pada tablet
depicted
ketiga
in this
bukanlah
slate is not water from the primordial sea. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. Instead of being the literal element, the water in the scenes, you may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that. Therefore, the meaning of the third slate, that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice. Yes, it refers to...
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, in truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy for...
What should we do?
Iya, rasanya seperti dipermainkan takdir sih.
The prophecy will be fulfilled.
Yeay, berarti waifu kalian dan juga husbu gua yang ada di Fontaine adalah orang-orang Oceanid. Kalian gacha Oceanid dong berarti dong. Raiden ada temennya berarti. Kata kalian kan Raiden Shogun gacha boneka. Kalian gacha Oceanid. Gue gacha Oceanid lagi. Pokoknya kita lakukan ramalan itu akan tetap digenapi. Inikah rasanya jadi tawanan takdir? Tawanan takdir ya.
Does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also be fulfilled soon?
Traveler, I would like to point out
Aku
another
ingin
small
bahas satu
fallacy
lagi
in your deductions.
kesalahan penalaranmu.
About the fourth slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass, yes?
Yes.
However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse to come. As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before.
Kita pilih jangan-jangan aja ya. Apa nih, cutscene kah? Kenapa
This
sih harus
eruption
kayak
was
gini
just a
lagi?
small warning of the things to come.
Air yang
We
meluap
must
hanyalah
find the
peringatan
root
tertentu.
cause of the disaster.
Itu buktikan kebenaran dari mana ya? Ini kah? Coba. Oh benar.
It was both dream.
Oh, langsung.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be
The truth, the original sin, the trial.
Hah? Kok tiba-tiba gini? What the heck? Oh my god. Wah, GG pausnya. Furina mana, bejir? Oh, coy. Wow. Pausnya bagus banget ya. Oh, ya dia masuk lagi dong.
That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the opera house? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it is chosen to make an... That whale does not belong to Tevat.
Dia
It
monster
is a
pengenalan yang
monster that has
mengarungi
traversed
bintang,
the stars,
lautan
weeping
bintang sambil
all the
menangis
while.
meratapi nasibnya.
It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, and once it has finished consuming all of the energy
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontainians out of Oceanids,
Dia memasukkan
she
air
filled their
lautan
blood
lalu
vessels
ke
with
dalam
primordial
jaringan pembuluh
seawater.
darah.
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontainians nigh impossible.
Sangat menggoda.
Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food.
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the...
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, the whale would have... From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special
Dasar
connection
segila
with that
berani.
whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this.
Ada ketertarikan khusus. Dia ada ketertarikan khusus sama si paus, tapi sama sekali nggak nyangka dia bakal muncul tiba-tiba gini.
Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to beat it up, right?
Kita tinggal gebukin aja si paus ya, Mon. Yang gebukin gue bukan lu masalahnya, Mon.
It is too late.
Maksudnya?
It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. Even if the entirety of Tevat were to be destroyed, it could still
That's not... We've already done everything we can. And we even found the true culprit. We've come so far.
Kalau
You
musuh
can't just tell
terakhirnya
me that the
dibilang musuh
last hurdle
dikalahkan.
is some impossible foe. That's just not fair.
Si Navia selalu berargumen dengan si Abang.
Indeed, that's not how a grand performance
I'll fight it to the end, no matter what.
Oh, that is glorious.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
Furina mana sih Furina? Fur.
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled.
Siapa?
You may...
Penyihir N. Tunggu, kalau urusannya sama takdir?
Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in
Ikuti
Tevat's
saja dan
future.
mainkan peranmu. Oh. Apa aku melewatkan sesuatu? Furina. Tuh Furina nih. Kuncinya berarti tetap di Furina sebenarnya.
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina!
Oh.
No, I still need answers.
Oh. Oh. Siapa? Bentar, siapa? Anjir. Oh my god. Siapa?
You.
You? Furina? Bentar. Udah nih. Dia Archon yang asli.
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina. Who are you?
You are not Furina or...
The sweet sound of bewilderment.
Jadi ini Vocaloros.
Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Fosalor. You know, the god.
Kekagetanmu berarti aku berhasil membunuh semua orang. Bukankah sudah jelas kalau aku ini sang Archon Vocalors?
Fosalor,
Fosalor.
why did you deceive us?
Kenapa cuma Neofil aja yang bisa lihat ya?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness no. The heavenly principles.
Prinsip langit. Jadi dia biar gak diadili gitu kah?
Deceiving the heavenly principles.
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro-Arch. She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass. And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I had to outwit the heavenly principles. Allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least. I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro-Archon, and not to mention the but one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
Salah siapa? Aku dulunya salah satu pelayan Oceanid dirinya.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids,
jadi dia juga
transformed
Oceanid.
into a human by Egeria's hand.
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known.
Keberadaan manusia adalah sandiwara yang paling menakjubkan.
After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Farina.
Oh my god.
She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or at her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings.
Gini gue nangis anjir. Aduh gue gak tahu ya. Gue kasihan sebenarnya sama si Farina tuh.
But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be.
Oh.
Anyway, so then I cursed her.
Dia diberikan kutukan.
All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Farina to be an actress, to play the part of the Hydro-Archon in the prophecy.
Yeah.
Under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Fosalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness.
Dia tidak akan pernah bisa menikmati kebahagiaan sejati sebagai manusia.
Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the... I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
Percuma dong dia jadi human kalau nggak bisa mendapatkan kebahagiaan seorang manusia gitu loh. Anjir, gue nangis keberapa kalinya ini.
But Farina is only human, isn't she? Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human being. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure. It must have been torture for her.
Dan semua ini pasti membuatnya sangat menderita, benar sekali nih, Feeling.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely owe her an apology for it. It's been 500 years. And all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and
Cuma gitu doang. Anjir, gue kira bakal dikasih tahu soal perjalanan Furina. Air mata Furina, kalau tidak salah air mata dikatakan mengandung perasaan terkuat. Dengan sensitivitas yang mumpuni terhadap elemen hydro, aku bisa membangun hubungan masalah sama seperti dengan Oceanid di Fontaine of Lucine. Oh, ini alam bawah sadarnya si Furina ya? Lewat mana, Bu? Kita nggak pakai traveler, udahlah pakai Raiden aja.
Oh, who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my august self. All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract me from my performance. Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontainians are upon me. I must at all times display the utmost elegance and...
Ada yang aneh, sesekali tembusnya. Bahkan di batinnya paling dalam pun dia masih memainkan peran Archon. Oh, dia teguh banget loh guys. Keteguhan seperti apa yang dimiliki sampai alam bawah sadarnya pun terus dibentengi sekuat ini. What? Furina matikan.
Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
Be still.
Kayak gini kita masih ngelawan ya?
Illusion shattered.
Okay.
Adventure time.
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Aku sepertinya dapat sinyal itu suara asli kah? Tiket? Kok ada tiket? Di hadapan cermin Furina. Kita harus jadi dia kah? Oh my god.
Farina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid.
Oh.
I am before you.
Wait a moment. You're near me? How can this be?
Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad.
Mirror me? What do you wish to say?
The prophecy.
Kamu
Have
pernah
you heard of it?
mendengarnya?
What prophecy? Wait. I know. I think the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain.
Oh, very good. You know it well.
What's going on? I can't seem to remember anything clearly.
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine sooner or later. Things will...
But doesn't that mean everyone will die?
Aku juga
I'm a
orang Fontaine.
Fontainian just like them. Well,
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance to turn things around. I will tell you how to save everyone, but you may have to suffer somewhat.
oh, so there's still hope after all. Goodness, you frightened me. You spoke so much, and as for the suffering,
Kecur.
well,
Tadi
I
aku
will admit that the first thing that came to mind was, why do I have to? But if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right? So if I've already met you as my magical meeting in this world, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side and my queen on the other, is it not obvious where the scales should tilt?
Mana yang lebih berat? Wah. Oh. Sumpah anjir. Sudah jelas dong mana yang lebih berat katanya. Oh.
You truly are the perfect human. My ideal.
Gak gitu juga tapi aduh.
I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs to you.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play a role.
Tuh,
that
guys.
of the new Archon.
Udah dibilang kan, peran itu kini harus dimainkan olehmu, sang Archon baru. Berarti Furina otomatis sudah ditunjuk sebagai Archon gak sih seharusnya? Atau gak?
Play as a god?
Oh, omongannya sumpah. Yang bikin gue tersentuh tuh dari omongannya si Furina. Play as a god katanya. Sumpah penekanan suaranya di sini aja. Yang ngisi suara siapa sih? Sumpah. Yang ngisi suara siapa? Ayo supaya si suara siapa begir ini gue harus cari tahu sih si suara siapa bahasa Inggris.
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. You must never let anyone suspect your identity. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed...
But how will I do this? A human assuming the role of a god without being exposed.
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know what such an entity would be like. Remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing divinity, but contending against humanity.
I'm still not sure I understand, but I'll try.
Aku mau mencoba.
I'll try to do this. So, how long am I going to have to play this role?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. You will endure and not grow old until your task ends. But I promise you, all will eventually end in a
trial. Huh. How exciting. I'll be looking forward to it.
Ya Tuhan, sumpah sih. Sumpah ya guys ya, gue tersentuh sih sebenarnya. Jadi nangis beneran kan, gue kira gue gak bakal nangis loh. Keinget dia ya gak jelas kelakuannya di awal, bejir. Ini bisa cepet kah? Dia tetap naik ke situ kah? Kebalik, lewat sini bang. Lewat sini bang, lewat sini deh.
The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession, but this is my first time facing the people. What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest, I still don't... Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Opera Epiclese. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. Indeed, I am Verena de Fontaine. In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor to, as the god Focalor, the god of justice, I shall do all within my power to lead you into an... Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, please send them to the Maison Cardinalise. The future of Fontaine will require us to work together. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was able to convey my...
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit more...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just be a Maison-backed puppet.
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a fake?
Dia penuh kekhawatiran sih.
If I get exposed here, right? Mirmi said that I just need to play the role of a... Calm down, Verena. Think. What do the people want? How would they imagine assertive, with a strong sense of presence, one who can dispel all doubt? That... Oh, very good, my people. Only one's such... Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house. Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness wondrous trial. You may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut. Now then, let us be...
So that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Dia menutup omongan orang dengan cara seperti itu ya.
Suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful. Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that justice is most fragrant when it blooms amid sin. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me.
Kita harus sombong ya Mbak di sini ya.
The role that they want me to play. The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its God. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fire. There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. All that is needed is so long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand within the opera epiclese, so long as I stand before the oratrice, I shall even judge the gods of this world!
Oh. Jadi ini ceritanya dia yang dulu ya, yang awal menjabat menjadi seorang Archon. Adegan ketiga, gedung opera Furina. Kita bakal duduk di sini kah? Atau duduk di sana? Enggak kan? Sini berarti.
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports as well as a summary.
Jadi ceritanya
Come
Furina
now,
berarti.
was I not just at the opera house in person? Leave these kinds of things to Neuvillette. Besides, none of these trials were the one that
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of trial are you
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to...
That's true, I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought, Lady Archon.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duties. The trial I await.
Okay.
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for agreeing to see me.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of Oh, I'm afraid that's all right. Deoteria, is it? How it...
You remembered me. He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I. He was the one who forced me to seek an audience with...
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future, please do not...
You're such a gentle and wise God. Thank you once again.
Jadi kan yang meranin operanya Furina dulu kayaknya ya. Dan kita nonton di penonton.
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked to take...
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I want all manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass.
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute...
Really? Have they found any...
I'm afraid that they haven't found any effective solution thus far.
Oh, is that so? Well, no wonder. This issue...
Okay.
The day is finally over. I haven't had a moment to breathe this whole time, but it's good to see that everything's getting on track. Maybe this is fine. I just need... Alright, Farina, don't think too hard about...
Oh.
Lady Farina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a summary of the follow-up.
There'll be no need for that. I've seen them.
Lady Farina, I've waited so...
Indeed, my dear loyal citizen. This joyous moment...
Berulang kali seperti itu terus-terusan ya.
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological...
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed should anything... I don't think I let anything slip today. I must show the people that there is nothing to worry about.
Dalam dirinya dia itu sebenarnya dia khawatir dan ini terjadi berulang-ulang ya kan.
I just don't know when these days will end.
Seolah ini tuh penderitaan bagi dia yang berulang-ulang terus gitu loh guys.
I feel
Aku lelah sekali kan.
Best to rest early.
Banyak waktu yang udah dilalui sama dia dan itu pun sama 18.000 ya atau 182 kali dia harus kayak gini. Ini sih lebih dari apa yang dirasain Nahida ya festival Zebrisusnya gitu loh, dengan apa yang dirasain Furina dengan kejadian sampai sebanyak itu dan itu pun berulang.
I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was Madame Dioteria.
And what a fine family yours is indeed. It brings me great joy to meet such a faithful believer. A descendant of a line most ardent.
Dia kayak lagi nangis ya?
Surely you exaggerate, Lady Farina.
What is it? Good citizen.
Dia kayak lagi nangis gak sih guys? Omongannya.
Are you crying?
Oh.
Really now? I didn't even... This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god who's...
No wonder. A manifestation of your power.
Sampai berganti generasi dia harus menghadapi hal yang sama. Ih, kalau gue jadi dia capek gue sumpah. Oh.
So interminable.
Lama sekali, sepi sekali, semua sama.
So lonely. Just how much longer? Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go on for hundreds more. I never imagined that it would hurt so much.
Dia tersiksa dengan waktu, guys.
Have I reached my limit? No. Perhaps I reached it long ago. Today I didn't even notice I want to tell someone, anyone about this. But would that not destroy all I've done so far?
Dia nggak ada tempat cerita, nggak ada tempat yang bisa dipercaya. Dia pendam sendiri segala sesuatunya. Bahkan hampir sampai berapa ratus tahun dia tetap seperti itu. Kalian berulang-ulang melakukan hal yang sama aja pasti capek kan? Ada capeknya gitu loh. Itu beberapa hari aja. Apalagi dia yang beratus-ratusan hari gitu.
I've conducted so many investigations across the centuries. But all I can do is keep heart. I must
Hanya ini satu-satunya cara untuk menyelamatkan Fontaine, kumohon.
It is the only way to save Fontaine.
Kamu harus berhasil. 182.376 hari ya.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone.
Ini di kita kan?
Your people are more than willing to share your burden.
Oh, ini adegannya yang ada di kita.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can just share it with me.
A witness. And if Tevat is in its entirety,
Kalau
she's
begitu,
right. I could confide in her, but if things don't play out as expected, the people of Fontaine will be the ones to pay the price. No, Farina, you shouldn't be selfish.
ini berarti yang sebelumnya Farina mau ngomong ke kita berarti.
But what if it's really all right? Farina, you've worked so hard for so long. Surely it would be okay. Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find someone in whom you can confide if you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, it might never think about it. Long and hard.
Sebenarnya dia mau ngomong kan, keburu dibawa ke gedung opera kan.
No, I have nothing to say. I am Farina, the Archon of Fontaine. Everything will surely get better.
Dia masih membentengi dirinya sendiri, oke.
All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance until...
Sampai akhir pun dia gak mau jujur. Kayak dia berpegang teguh sama pendiriannya dia. Baiklah.
Fine.
Oke. Harapannya dia hilang satu.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Jahat si Vocalors tuh.
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to the most tragic fate. It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
Vocalors egois sih. Tapi keegois, nggak tahu ya ini termasuk egois apa enggak. Cuman kalau ini diperuntukkan untuk keselamatan rakyatnya dia sendiri, mungkin ini bukan sebuah keegoisan, melainkan mengorbankan satu orang untuk menyelamatkan orang banyak. Mungkin bisa dibilang iya, tapi penderitaan yang diderita oleh Farina itu kalau dipikul untuk satu orang itu berat sih guys.
I believe that I understand how your deception works. But that is only half the truth, is it not? How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine?
Good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of... I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine.
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the court. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along.
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so. Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks. In truth, it is no enactor of justice.
Sebaliknya dia
It is,
adalah alat
in
yang untuk
fact,
membunuh
a device
dewa
created to
keadilan.
kill the god of justice.
Oh, ini ya.
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice, it will
Menjatuhkan
also
tata suci
take
yang
down the divine throne upon which she
ditempatkannya.
has been placed. I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose while Farina suffered?
Kamu kira aku sejahat itu sampai tega santai-santai sampai melihat Farina menderita? Wah, gue salah pikir sih ke dia.
My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the Oratrice. But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device was ever used to provide. The vast majority had to be accumulated to enact this death sentence.
Ini paling plot twist sih, kenapa harus dihukum mati gitu loh. Seharusnya yang dihukum mati para sagi tuh, yang tega nyiksa Archon Nahida. Tapi apa ya, sama halnya seperti Kendria yang melanggar kedaulatan para dewa atau Celestia sendiri, itu juga dihancurkan. Sedangkan dia menciptakan manusia dari oceanid, maka dia juga yang harus dihancurkan mungkin. Dan mungkin itu sepadan dengan apa yang dia lakukan. Cuman gue nggak tahu ini cerita bakal dibawa kemana gitu loh. Apalagi ada Natlan dan juga Snesnaya. Dengan meninggalnya sang Archon Hydro, inilah Genshin Impact, game yang menurut gua cerita dan segala sesuatunya itu dibalut dengan hal yang bagus dan bikin orang tuh penasaran akan seperti apa sih akhir dari game ini atau akhir dari cerita game ini. Karena kita selalu disuguhkan dengan plot twist yang mungkin kita nggak pernah tahu akhirnya tuh bakal seperti apa, dan kita nggak pernah tahu gitu loh. Mereka kan menyuguhkan apalagi ketika kita ada di region Natlan. Karena jujur aja di Fontaine sendiri gue kira bakal gak kayak gini gitu loh ceritanya. Kenapa sih gak ada cerita yang bahagia gitu loh di Archon kita? Kenapa harus selalu cerita yang sedih yang dirasain setiap Archon yang kita temui gitu loh, dengan segala masalah yang mereka punya?
It was all part of your plan then, both the trial and the sentence.
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the Oratrice. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia and breaking through the institution that is the Seven.
Hanya kekuatan sebenarnya inilah yang mampu menghancurkan tata suci Archon Hydro, menggoyahkan aturan yang ditetapkan Celestia, dan menghancurkan institusi yang disebut The Seven. Apakah dengan kematian dari Archon Hydro itu The Seven bisa dibilang udah bukan sebuah institusi yang lengkap?
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon. The destruction of that divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent,
Returning what's
Terus yang
rightfully
balikan
yours
apa yang
to
seharusnya
you, of
memang
course.
milikmu. Jadi semua kekuasaan yang sebenarnya ada di Fontaine tuh miliknya si Neophyte. Wih, plot twist bener bejir.
In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
Dikembalikan kepada naga Hydro planet ini ya. Wah, gak jelas. Kenapa bisa gini? Oh my god, jadi Neophyte yang punya Fontaine. Pantas Furina dibilang bukan jadi Archon lagi. Oh.
Oh, what? Getting sad again, are we?
Oh my god, sumpah
The
ini ceritanya
authority
gak
of the
jelas.
ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign.
Kekuasaan para
And
naga
this is
purba
the
akan
face
kembali
you make.
kepadamu. Wahai Raja Naga Hydro, kenapa malah bermuram durja?
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked.
Dia mau meninggal aja masih bisa ketawa loh. Berarti dia bisa seikhlas itu ya, untuk bisa buat dirinya itu menerima segala hukuman yang ditinggalkan oleh Archon yang sebelumnya gitu. What?
Hydro Dragon, Hydro Dragon, don't cry.
Ternyata pengalaman yang gue lihat di scroll TikTok sama yang gue jalanin sendiri beda, guys. Lebih menyentuh di sini omongannya si Vocalors.
I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the
Mengadili
heavenly
si prinsip
principles
langit.
themselves.
Dan ini juga kurang
Were
lebih
they
sama
not guilty
salahnya.
of essentially the same crime?
Kan dia juga kurang lebih sama salahnya katanya.
Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principle stole the power you ancient dragons possessed.
Oh, jadi prinsip lagi tuh mencuri kekuatan kalian para naga purba. Naga di Genshin Impact tuh siapa sih? Neophyte sama Abah ya kalau nggak salah ya.
I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that your original powers should be speaking of justice? I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human existence itself. So, if the theft of the
Jadi jika
primordial
mencuri
sea's
kekuatan
might
primordial
was
ada dosa,
Fontaine's original sin,
mula-mula Fontaine,
then,
maka dengan
leaving
tidak
matters of
memindahkan
procedural right
mana
and
yang
wrong
benar dan
aside,
mana yang salah,
the descent of the Fontainians as humans and their right to exist in this world would be Fontaine's original justice. In other words, existence was Egeria's
keberadaan
justice,
keadilan
and to
bagi
me,
Adia.
justice is the continuation of that existence, defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on. That should be the justice enthroned over all others.
Tuh guys, jadi seorang pimpinan tuh nggak mudah. Inilah menentang ramalan itu dan memastikan keberlangsungan hidup orang Fontaine adalah keadilan yang seharusnya dijunjung tinggi melebihi yang lainnya. Jadi memastikan keberlangsungan hidup orang Konoha adalah keadilan seharusnya dijunjung tinggi melebihi yang lainnya. Jadi sebagai seorang pimpinan itu nggak mudah. Jadi bagi kalian yang mencoba untuk mengkritik, gue malah jadi kesana. Seorang pimpinan, kalian harus tahu juga bahwasannya pimpinan itu juga manusia, dewa pun juga sama gitu kan. Sebenarnya di sini kalau kita bisa lihat dari sisi lain ya bisa dibilang seperti itu gitu loh. kita nggak pernah tahu apa yang terjadi kepada orang lain kalau kita nggak mengalami itu, dan kita juga nggak pernah tahu apa yang terjadi pada setiap individu manusia. Tapi kita cuman bisa berkomentar, dan itu nggak baik, guys. Jangan terlalu menghakimi gitu loh. Gila sih, ini ceritanya dalam banget, Beji.
At this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontainians, have shouldered the Iudex Neuvillette, the highest judge in our land.
Wow.
When you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign,
Suaranya dia bagus banget ini, pengisi suara,
what
sumpah.
verdict shall you pass upon us?
Putusan apa yang akan kamu jatuhkan ke atas? Anjir.
So
Dia
when I
jadi
was
yang ini.
invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now that
Itu
that was
semua
your idea too.
permintaanmu ya.
At last, I now understand the true purpose behind this position. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding between us. And I have even attempted to feel as they feel. You are a devious one, Fussalor.
Kamu licik juga.
Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
Aku tidak akan pernah menjatuhkan putusan bersalah kepada mereka. Wah, anjir.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Neuvillette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Anjir. Oh my god. Oh. Wah. Wah, sumpah sih ini Archon questnya Kiki. Kalau gak bisa minta maaf ke Furina kah? Dia dikasih wah, langsung anjir.
I, Iudex Neuvillette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Oh. Si Furina gimana dong?
Everything's...
What just happened? Has the death sentence been carried out?
Was that
bright light some sort of misdirection? I have a feeling that something huge just happened.
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved...
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
Guys, supaya gue kan sambil monitoring ya, monitoring chat kalian. Ternyata chat kalian itu tiba-tiba nge-lag anjir. Ternyata chat kalian tuh tiba-tiba nge-lag, ya Allah. Aduh, ternyata yang paling menyedihkan adalah chat kalian tiba-tiba nge-lag. Ya Allah, sumpah. Gue lihat tadi kok berhenti di situ chatnya, kan gue lihat ini bentar ya. Ternyata chatnya nge-lag anjir, sumpah. Nopal sedih kak, rendernya datang dan pergi tiba-tiba makanya hujan. Pas Furina Vokalos yang lain ngapain? Dan Neo itu hilang kesadaran atau hilang. Sumpah ya, itu ngapain sih sebenarnya? Sumpah ya, ini kalau Natlan kayak gini juga ceritanya, ya Allah, sumpah gak tahu lagi dah gua. Di game di adik kita ada yang dimeninggalin. Di sini ada yang di eksekusi. Dia nggak bisa dia kalahin.
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it through certain means.
Kira aku dapat
Now have the
kota
ability to
dari
separate the
balap
pack.
itu.
We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry.
Aku pergi saja. Tidak ada reader yang membantuku tertarik untuk bertarung. Kenapa guys? Ya udah, on foot kita, piu-piu kita. I don't know, Kamen Rider Black. Natal penuh dengan gelut aman. Oh yo, oke. Tapi gini guys ya, gini ya. Gue rasa Archon Natlan itu gak akan diem aja dengan pergelutan nanti. Dikarenakan dia kan Archon gelut ya. Dia tuh pasti jadi pimpinan juga pasti akan ikut gelut ya. Bukan seperti Archon kita ya sebelumnya, ada kejadian di tanahnya malah ngeteh. Sama si Fenty malah suka hidup-hidup ya. Gue menantikan si Natlan bakal seperti apa. Tapi sepertinya Hoyoverse tuh bakal fokus dulu ke Fontaine. Karakter-karakter Fontaine tuh pasti bakal diperbanyak juga sama Hoyoverse. Apalagi bintang 5-nya ya bakal ada si Chlorine juga dan juga si Juin ya kalau nggak salah. Kemungkinan untuk kita masuk ke Natlan masih cukup lama mungkin ya. Cuman kita lihat aja nantilah ya. Manfaatkan semuanya untuk memburu masa kita.
Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out justice.
Palu keadilan maksudnya aku.
The root of the calamities befalling Fontaine, the beast that enacts the prophecy. Its name is the all-devouring narwhal. Come with me, traveler. The hour of execution has come.
Waktu melaksanakan hukuman. Oke, kenapa gak sama Navi aja sih? Gue kan ada kristal, nanti crystallize bang, buat ngelindungin gue bang. Ketemu paus. Wah, sumpah sih ini gue bisa kelawan dia apa kagak anjir. Paus kita yang terhormat. Mari. Ya masa gue bawa Ayato. Wah. Bayangin aja mana anjir, mas gue mana mampus gak nih gua nih. Berapa cuman jadi segitu biji bijir. Kayaknya harus bawa overload gak sih guys? Oh, damage-nya unyu-unyu deh. Coba damage Raiden gue unyu-unyu coba guys. Au.
Cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility, and a chance will present itself.
Tapi kita nggak bakal meninggal gitu aja kan, by the way. Oh, Gue ini malam-malam BTW guys, gue dimarahin orang tua gue ya. Mana bang? Kita harus ke hisap ya. Sama Naida nih, sama Naida bang. Udah.
Illusion shattered. Cascade.
Gue salah pencet.
Let's light it up. Why do they never miss? Going in.
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to press its roots.
Kita nggak di ini apa siapa Neo Village kan, nggak dipinjemin Neo Village ya.
Inazuma shines eternal.
Efeknya unyu betir.
Everybody stand back. That's gonna hurt in the morning. Let's light it up. Let's light it up. Why do they never miss?
Bennett gua.
I see everything.
Shine down.
Be still.
Oh, nggak sampai harus meninggalin ya? Pakai handset, Kak, ini udah pakai handset guys. Wow, sumpah. Dukung ya. Siapa? Serkan. Ih, Child kenapa digituin? Ini yang muncul di trailer yang gua.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but
terima kasih sudah bantu beres-beres katanya. Kerajaan harusnya itu kerjaan aku sih, tapi ya sudahlah. Dia siapa bejir? Mommy kita sih, sumpah ya, ini sedikit cerita. Waktu dia noleh gini, itu kan keluar di program spesial program yang ada di yang waktu mau perkenalan Fontaine. Gue kan telat ya, terus gue lihat, siapa nih orang gitu kan? Oh ternyata ini Cirque.
It was just supposed to be a short private
Akhirnya
training
bisa
session
tahu
for me.
dia seperti
I didn't
apa.
think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling in the meantime.
Hah? Aku cuma mau adakan sesi pelatihan pendek, tapi tidak disangka muridku malah jadi bertarung melawan peliharaan guruku. What?
Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point.
Kalau
But
seperti
they
ini
bumped
lucunya,
into one
tapi
another
aku-
earlier than I thought. What a
Kacau.
blunder. I suppose I'll have to swing my sword 3 million times as penance.
Murid?
That power. Who are you exactly?
Iya, siapa dia sebenarnya gitu?
Paimon has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. Skirk, right?
Anehnya nih Paimon tahu gitu loh. Padahal dia baru ketemu nggak sih harusnya? Paimon nih makhluk apa sih sebenarnya, Mon?
It's just that he gave us the impression that she was the less talkative person.
Yang nggak banyak omong.
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak.
Tapi
You,
kalian
on the
beda.
other hand, managed to
Kalian
defeat the
berhasil
all-devouring
mengalahkan-
narwhal without using power from beyond this world. So you may speak to me as equals.
Jadi kalian boleh bicara dengan sebagai orang yang setara, Gigi. Kita setara dengan gurunya Child, jadi Child itu di bawah kita ya, ingat.
I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to
Aneh
raise
sekali
an
kalau menggunakan
all-devouring narwhal.
Untuk membesarkan.
That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. The only thing that creature has going for it is its looks. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Itunya dia gagal total sebagai binatang peliharaan.
Miss Skirk? I think you might have missed the point.
The point being?
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed an entire nation. So what sort of person is your master? Well, child's master's master.
Itu orang macam apa?
Right. So you don't know him.
Ternyata
Sorry,
belum.
I assumed you did. His name is Surtalogi.
Surtalogi siapa lagi? Surtalogi tuh. Ingat ya, Surtalogi, oke?
I am unfamiliar with that name.
Huh. So Master is insufficiently famous.
Ternyata
How should
guru
I describe him then?
masih kurang terkenal ya.
Have you heard of the name The Fowl?
Kan pernah dengar nama The Fowl? The Fowl?
The fowl?
The Fowl?
Still nothing? Well, how about The Visionary? Vetterfilnir then?
Ooh, that one we've heard. Rheindochter's part of the Hexen Circle. She's Albedo's mom, right?
Hexen Circle ibunya si Albedo. Jadi gurunya si Shark nih ibunya si Albedo. Wah, circle momi-momi nih gak ada lawan anjir.
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from my master. I don't act, but I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar sort to Rheindotter. They are both pursuing some form of perfection.
Wait, didn't you also mention a visionary person? Paimon didn't quite...
Actually, never mind that. I believe it expedient to inform you that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the Fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into chaos. In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be in full swing.
Oh.
What?
Lama terus segenapi, kita sudah tahu dan sudah menerima. Tapi
Not to worry. Focalor has...
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters,
Oh,
and
Furina.
only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne.
Dia tetap di situ kah?
Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Diputihkan. Kita nggak kehilangan si Furina kan? Oh. Loh.
Hey! Help! Over here!
Hah? Furina kita kemana?
All hands initiate emergency rescue!
Wah.
Hurry!
Furina kita kemana guys?
Lend a hand!
Ini tenggelam ke bawah ya berarti ya.
Look! The water's receding!
Surut ya.
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Furina mana Furina?
Are you alright?
We're saved. The prophecy was wrong.
Wow, Furina. Akhir yang bahagia. Inilah yang gue pengen gitu. Akhirnya akhir bahagia, guys. Wah, ini gigi sih.
The soil renewed. The Svina di Rasula tax post-disaster rebuilding. I recently visited Poisson to meet with Miss Navia. Old soil can still give birth to new bloom, Miss Navia stated. Hope is like seeing a small cookie when you're starving. Skyship Winglet, Booner Brain of the Fontaine Research Institute. The various disputes that have arisen on account of Mr. Edwin have suddenly become a shield over the instant. People always call the first researcher mad, but few know what to call the second. And should that latter person achieve a miracle... Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Julia and Navia? They sound like real big shots.
Dari awal mereka juga memang orang penting.
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The Steambird's idea was pretty simple. With the disaster just having passed, the value for these big scoops lies in their inevitable follow-ups. We'll publish further. Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true flying ship, while Navia is leading people in the reconstruction of their home. I'm sure
Paimon's curious too! Wait a minute. Didn't we watch it?
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me. You're the best incubators of news if you haven't noticed.
Terus kalau kalian ikut, aku pasti bisa ketemu sama si Duk itu.
Are you sure?
Oh, this time will be different. Come on! Let's head to Poisson first, and then make a trip to the fortress. There are some things you'll only know.
Oke. Kita bakal ke mana? Oh, kita dapat satu hal ya dari paus tadi ya. Apa itu di bahan ya dapatnya? Dapat di bahan? Enggak ya? Dapat di bahan kah? Dapat di bahan ya? Atau bukan? Ah, nantilah kita lihat aja. Ke potion. Lebih tepatnya itu turun ke bawah gak sih Fontaine tuh? Kayak diturunkan ke bawah gitu loh. Jadi dia tuh kayak hanyut gitu loh ke bawah, bukan di tengah, bukan airnya itu yang naik. Tahu deh ah. Bingung juga.
Navia! Oh, it's you.
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snežević. Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing nicely.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours.
Ini
I
biasanya orang
especially
yang
like
kita
that article
meninggoin
you
guys.
wrote last year about Fontaine. But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here.
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible.
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour before the workers are able to
Sejam
go
lagi
over
para
there.
pekerja sudah boleh mulai ke sana.
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat.
Oh, dia ngungsi dulu.
All right.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision makers.
Navia nih
And,
agak sedikit lucu juga ternyata.
I do already.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel, about what it was.
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a better theme.
I see you're the same as always. couldn't you do me a favor?
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my
Maaf.
sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or of the traveler. It's better than wasting time persuading.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let her off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the
dulu.
photo, gather up.
How did it go? Was it a good shot?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots.
Fotonya banyak banget pasti.
All right, that should do it. I'll be
Furina
back here
gimana
later anyway,
keadaannya
so
ya?
let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes. Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections.
Wow, you really do.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the fortress.
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess too. I asked Sijuin who.
That's a very...
In truth, all Monsieur Neuvillette asked me was, I told him that it was best not to speak too soon. There's no guarantee that Ridesley...
You're right. I've got to treasure every moment I have with them. In which case...
Stay safe now. And tell me if you hear anything
Kita bakal ditraktir teh ya sama Navia, jangan lupa. Kita ke benteng lagi, gue males banget balik ke benteng ini anjir. Gue capek ke benteng, bro. Sumpah. Udahlah teleport aja sini. Itu di bawah apa di atas sih sebenarnya? Ke bawah ya. Oratrice Mechanic dan List Kernel.
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic feeling.
Looks like you've been missing it.
Kalian kangen ya? Ihe.
Did you come all the way?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear miss.
It's an honor to finally meet the much-rumored Duke.
No need to thank me. But that said...
Of course,
All right then, this way.
This way. Okay. This way.
Hey, no need to be so
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't...
Sir, please don't say things...
But it looks like dear Mr. Jury...
No, I just... This...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting. The boat that brought about a miracle. The ark that saved the people. Why, still, if I might ask...
Looks like Charlotte.
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our...
Really? Well, then in that case...
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead.
Wawancara susu kepala.
Or perhaps you'd like to take an...
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well, then, 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this new...
Sijuin.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Sure. Come on, Miss Sijuin. Over this way.
Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been?
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine...
Other than that flying ship.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more
You're too kind, sir.
Assalamualaikum malam-malam.
I believe that you too should have your day in the sun. Not that you would want that, which is a pity.
Panggung buat kalian saja kalian.
I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not sure you remember, but
He sure did win them over, huh?
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems
Oh, actually, what about you? Are things gonna change for you too?
What change can there be?
Mau berubah jadi
The fortress will keep
gimana?
chugging along, and so will mine. As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
Hey, everyone. The photo shoot's done.
The photo shoot is
Good.
done.
In that case, let's call it a day here.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, traveler, let's go.
liter teroris datang. Iya, dia liter teroris di Mondstadt.
There'll be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory next time. All right, last stop, the docks.
Kita bakal kemana lagi? Aduh, ini keliling-keliling ya berarti ya kita ya guys ya. Kita kemana, ke New Village kayak ini? Kita selesaiin sekalian lah ya. Di mana? Ke siapa? Ke siapa? Lo di bawah ya? Oh, ini.
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they...
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte, too.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of gadget is it?
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any...
Trick a friend. I would...
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Ow.
Is this what you meant by I'll...
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
Lynette sure is working hard to help Fremine so...
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with a...
Lynette, could you come over?
Got it.
Got it. Iya sih, cocok sih sebenarnya. Charlotte itu bersemangat kan. Si Verminute-nya malu-malu gitu, malu-malu kucing. Jadi
Charlotte is
lucu
rather
kali ya.
perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to say. Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very grateful for your contributions to...
That's all right. We were more than happy to help.
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. After Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Neuvillette opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine's gnosis to her as a
diplomatic gift?
Yes, I was quite surprised at first myself. But when I thought it over, it could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying the all-devouring narwhal down. Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid to Fontaine and Poisson.
That's true, but this is a gnosis.
I would agree, but I've also heard that...
So there's some reason for the...
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself. Yes, speak...
Isn't he real busy and stuff? But back to the topic. The gnosis was given to the knave, right?
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds. I hear that the recent disaster really did a number on his health.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui.
Malah jadi sekutu ya
So
bener.
shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
The Knave? Oh, the Knave kita.
Father.
Yang bakal riran.
Well, what
riran.
do you know?
Yang bakal
Come to the
playboy.
docks to see how my children are doing and meet the traveler by chance. Please do not pay my accomplishment.
Are you going to take the gnosis?
That is our duty as harbingers, yes. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a grand goal in mind, it is inevitable that we must wear many masks. Switching my masks is something I've always done. Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't rely on it forever? As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved
That's it
yourselves
with
to be
me.
great partners.
Rekan yang luar biasa. Pulangin ini ke pemiliknya.
A vision?
Oke.
All right.
And that's a wrap for me. Huh? You're...
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians and our upcoming...
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my work.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, nggak bisa difoto ya dia, nggak bisa difoto sembarangan. Nah, artis Tevat tuh.
Oh,
Nggak
she
bisa
has
difoto
such an
sembarangan.
intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews.
Okay.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, traveler, Paimon, you
To move things about?
Buat pindahin barang.
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met too. And I guess this must be life. We will all follow our own paths. And all right then. We'll be handing out pockets and some other
Yep.
Well, guess we sent Charlotte out. Shall we go see how Neverland
Kita
is?
selesain sekalian lah guys ya. Kita ke Moisture Village. Sumpah jauh bener anjir. Kenapa jauh sekali? Itu nggak ada ininya kah? Nggak ada teleportnya kah di situ? Yang bener aja. Yang bener aja, anjir. Kita selesain ini, jadi kita bisa fokus ke level, bukan level, ke ini dunia ya. Ada something? Oh nggak bisa. Jadi kita bisa fokus ke quest dunia gitu loh guys. Ayo. Kita bakal mencoba menyelesaikan ini ya, biar kita bisa ke level ke quest dunia yang belum gue selesain beberapa, banyak banget soalnya. Dia kenapa sering ada di sini sih, si Neoville tuh? Kayak meratapi segala sesuatu yang nggak perlu diratapi gitu. Oke.
So, you really are here, Neverland? Hana didn't think you were going to have free time this hour of the day.
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a meeting.
Okay.
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. All right, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually?
It is strange how words can often leave a bit...
Okay. Fossilor.
Whoa. So that's what happened? Fossilor destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power, but Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontainians from...
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute Fontainians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial, but so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority. In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontainians became true humans.
Fossilor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy of... Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Fossilor finally managed to...
Okay.
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Waduh, banyak banget.
I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was... But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of... As for the judgment passed by the oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association, or Fossilor deliberately using him to buy...
Guess Fossilor had Fontainians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her... hang on a second. Back when Fontainians hadn't yet become real humans...
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how
Yeah! Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would
Paimon sorta gets it now.
Okay.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Yeah, about that. Rising
Sudah
said
pergi.
Farina's already left.
Farina pergi kemana?
Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her
Dia
death
turun dari
sentence
tahta
has
Archon
not
Hydro,
been carried
kemudian
out.
menyerahkan segala urusannya
She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon, and I related Fosolor's words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither saddened nor She simply said that she was tired.
Lelah dan
needed to
perlu
rest.
istirahat. Oh.
Having said that, she then
Farina
packed her things and moved out of the opera house. Not unlike how an ordinary person might.
But she's still got a place to.
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing,
Sandang
board, or
pangan
travel.
papan, bahkan
In truth, I
jalan-jalan.
am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will,
Yeah,
of course, but now
betul,
that she no
betul.
longer has to play the role of Fosolor the Hydro Archon,
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've regained your full power?
after Fosolor passed on, the Oratrice also ceased. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration,
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the perspective of the.
as an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power, and this duty, as such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to serve. Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that the Opera House shall
That's true. That power was derived from the people. Wait,
Okay.
but the various mechs and machines in the city are all.
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve
Dan
as a
bisa
complete
dijadikan
substitute.
substitusi. Alasan
Another
lainnya
reason
kenapa
why
aku
I
tidak
cannot
bisa-
quite
tidak
leave
bisa begitu
Fontaine
saja
immediately.
meninggalkan Fontaine.
This ancient dragon.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right. They say you've given it to.
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers, their
Okay.
sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this, the Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine throne is, as such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine. If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request.
Okay.
What complicated considerations? Paimon thought you were just giving it.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume. I'm afraid that I have little
Natlan
talent as a
disebut
travel
di sini.
guide, so all I can do is tell you what I
Jadi
know
ini
about
bisa
that land.
memberitahu kalian semua yang aku tahu tentang bangsa
As
itu.
far
Oke.
as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
Bahasa para naga.
A nation of dragons?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of
Para naga
Natlan
Natlan
have
sudah
undergone
berkembang
long
dari
years of
beberapa
development and
tahun.
evolution.
Bahkan dari
Large
mereka
numbers of
yang
them have
hidup
entered a form of
berdampingan dengan
Natlan
manusia.
is also the nation of war. War
Tanah itu
ravages those
dilanda
lands like an
peperangan tanpa
undying
henti,
flame.
seperti api yang tak pernah padam.
There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the Knave that I
Mungkin
believe
bisa
the
berguna.
Harbinger known as the Captain has thrown
Captain?
his hat into the endless ring of war.
Captain? Captain tuh yang mana ya guys ya? Harbinger's Captain. Harbinger's Captain. Kapitano kah? Kapitano kah? Harbingers kita yang pakai masker hitam itu ya. Kalau bener GG sih itu orang.
Captain. Sounds like a real tough customer. Seriously, everywhere you look, there's a Fatui
Ada di
Harbinger
mana-mana.
doing their thing.
Ada saja urusannya.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. In the meantime,
Pintu Fontaine
Fontaine's
akan selalu
doors will
terbuka
always be
lebar
open
bagi
to you.
kalian. Terima kasih ya The Dragon.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Ah udah nggak ada sih.
Hang on a sec. Paimon, when we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving, we guessed that there might be some reason for it.
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence. So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting ready. In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went
Yang kami
something like
bicarakan
this.
apa yang dibicarain? Sumpah, gue pengen tahu. Ngomong apa nih mereka berdua? Dia pimpinan saya, Kak.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on.
Oh.
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any
Jadi ada lagi
interference.
gangguan. Oke.
I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of.
Apa yang
It is the
membentuknya?
authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in.
Campur sari lah pokoknya
quite a novel
sari.
blend.
Nama gue disebut.
I'm sure I've encountered something like this before.
I do not know what you
Of course. How could I? You should have the remains of the third descender on your person.
Descender
Yes.
ketiga. Kamu menyimpan sisa-sisa descender ketiga.
remains. I've never heard of any such.
Okay.
According to your parlance,
Oh,
I believe it may be
gnosis.
called a...
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, but I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you...
I've been training with my master, the Fowl,
The
ever
Fowl.
since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information, it is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense. Which is why there are so many problems in our attempts to communicate with humans.
Dia bakal playable nggak ya guys ya? Zerg nih.
Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune to prevent any disasters from befalling you.
Bisa bawa sial bahayanya. Oh, kamu lebih baik buang saja barang seperti itu, bisa bawa sial
To live
bahaya.
in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies...
What do you mean?
No need to fret. These are just my personal thoughts.
Balik ke
And my reason for no...
This third descender you refer to, who are
dia
they?
meninggal?
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't that important for me to know.
Ini anggota Hessen Circle kenapa sangat-sangat kayaknya berkuasa dan mengetahui segala sesuatu yang ada di Teyvat gitu loh. Melebihi Irminsul.
If you're interested though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on.
Next time, you believe...
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my
Aku
own,
juga
don't
punya murid
I?
ya. Boleh deh.
He can
nanti
be the
aku
messenger then.
titip biasa aja. Siapa child? Si child dititipin. Aduh.
That's what she
Okay.
told me. Whether it would prove useful or not.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How
Iya,
could they
bidak
be a person's
catur.
remains?
Sisa-sisa seseorang, kok bisa?
All
ya?
the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play,
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you
yeah.
should check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui.
if she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary risk.
Oke. Descender. Aku ini descender keempat. Oh iya ya. Kita kan descender keempat. Satu Genosis sudah bawanya descender 2. Dia yang datang sebelum aku sudah meninggal. Kalau kalian perhatiin di BP ya, di BP itu mengisyaratkan bahwasanya ada putri cahaya yang diturunkan ke bumi atau diturunkan ke tempat di bawah untuk mencari sebuah mahkota yang hilang, dan dia itu ketika sudah turun ke bawah atau mencoba mencari mahkota yang hilang itu dia lupa ingatan dan akhirnya dia berubah menjadi seorang pemimpin dari abyss atau pemimpin dari sebuah kegelapan, dan akhirnya diturunkanlah satu orang lagi untuk mengemban tugas itu lagi dan juga mencari descender yang maksudnya yang orang yang diturunkan pertama kali itu loh guys. Apa mungkin cerita yang kita lihat di PP itu merupakan rangkuman dari yang sebenarnya kita cari selama ini, cerita yang kita cari selama ini, kita juga nggak tahu ya. Tapi yang gue tangkap waktu cerita di BP itu seperti itu. Cuma kan karena kakak kita itu turun terlebih dahulu ya. Lumin kan cewek ya, turun terlebih dahulu, dan itu diibaratkan si cewek gitu loh yang turun terlebih dahulu. Habis itu diutuslah si laki-laki untuk mengemban tugas lagi karena si cewek ini tiba-tiba menghilang dan lupa ingatan gitu loh, dan akhirnya dia turun lagi sehingga dia bisa disebut descender yang lain. Apakah descender yang awal itu yang dicerita di BP itu sudah meninggal dan menjadi seorang abyss queen? Sebenarnya itu termasuk ringkasan gak sih harusnya?
I guess that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect you to be one of them.
Tuh kan.
That means that the Gnosis, which are exceedingly element compatible and can even enhance...
Descender
I wonder,
ketiga.
does your body also...
Like, able to use elemental powers without a vision. No, let's not think about this stuff right now. Just comparing the traveler to the dead third descender and all.
Tenang, aku sih nggak bakalan mati semudah
That's
itu.
what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck.
Tapi terus aja ngomongin itu kayak iya sih.
Once child recovers, let's get some more answers out of him. Or
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking. The same is true of being at court.
Saritsa yang menginginkan untuk semua generasi dikumpulkan. Iya sih, emang Saritsa yang minta gitu loh. Cuman dibalik alasannya kan kita nggak pernah tahu ya. Apakah jangan-jangan Saritsa itu adalah Iskender yang turun sebagai orang yang pertama kali yang perempuan itu, atau nggak tahu? Kita kan nggak pernah tahu ya. Karena seolah si Saritsa ini benci banget sama Celestia gitu loh. Setelah kejadian si Kendria itu, Kak Celestia itu pengen hidupin Iskender kedua kak. Kalau yang cewek itu inisialnya Kak Kiana, Kasiana, apa beda lagi? Aku sih itu sih yang bikin banyak spekulasi bermunculan gitu loh sebenarnya di cerita ini. Dan kita juga bisanya menebak-nebak. Jadi cukup disayangkan kalau andekan Natlan nanti tuh cuman memberikan kita sedikit informasi lagi, atau bisa aja informasi yang lengkap itu bakal ada di Senesnaya ketika kita ketemu sama Archon Saritsa. Karena gue rasa yang paling tahu soal keadaan Teyvat itu menurutku sendiri adalah Archon Saritsa. Karena Saritsa sendiri mencoba mengumpulkan Geonosis itu alasannya apa? Alasannya apa, inilah kemungkinan dia tahu gitu loh. Apa yang sebenarnya terjadi di Teyvat gitu loh. Maka dari itu Regin Senesnaya diberikan di akhir. Bisa jadi ya, bisa jadi.
alright. Whatever the case, it seems like the crisis here in Fontaine's over for now.
Seolah jawabannya itu ada di Saritsa semua gitu loh. Seolah gitu kan.
Yes. All of Focalor's efforts were for...
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a human. Was that really what she wanted?
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will.
Kamu bisa mengerti apa maunya para dewa? Iya, kamu bisa mengerti apa yang mau dewa?
I suspect not.
Rasanya tidak.
But once in a while I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the earth as life flows like water, and rain is the final answer.
Guys, gue mau kasih tahu sesuatu ke kalian.
One way or another, but the rain falls fairly upon all.
Guys, gue mau kasih tahu sesuatu ke kalian, ciri-ciri hal yang membuat ciri-ciri hal yang membuat karakter itu bakal rerun tuh apa? Gue bakal kasih tahu ke kalian habis ini ya, sebentar.
And what ultimately is the difference between the rains that fall upon all of us?
Sebenarnya tuh kita udah dikasih tahu loh. Ini loh yang mau rerun sebenarnya. Jadi kalian nggak perlu lihat ke leakers sih menurutku. Sebenarnya kita udah dikasih tahu sebenarnya. Kalau kalian mau tahu, habis ini gue kasih tahu. Ini menurut cocologi gue aja ya, tapi agak sedikit memungkinkan karena apa yang tersebar di luar sana itu ternyata sudah ada di sini gitu loh. Karakter apa aja yang bakal mau rerun. Oke. Capture bagian saya selesai. Oke guys, akhirnya selesai juga untuk quest Archon kita di Fontaine. Cuman kita nggak tahu lagi apakah ini masih ada atau enggak. Sepertinya sudah nggak ada untuk quest Archon yang ada di Fontaine. Tinggal untuk hal-hal lainnya sepertinya sih nggak ada ya. Oke guys, sampai di sini aja untuk quest Archon yang ada di Fontaine. Sampai jumpa di next video. Dan terima kasih buat kalian semua yang udah dukung. Dadah. Itu buat penutupan aja guys, jangan kemana-mana dulu, bentar. Gini ya guys ya, sebentar, aku mau ambil yang ini. Oke. Gini ya, sebenarnya kalau kalian mau lihat Archon Quest, bukan Archon Quest. Sebenarnya kalau kalian mau lihat untuk karakter-karakter yang bakal rerun itu yang seperti apa, yang bakal rerun di banner yang sebenarnya bukan banner khusus ya, yang banner yang memang harusnya di rerun gitu loh. kan kabarnya bakal ada triple banner, di mana triple banner itu bakal ada banner yang dia itu karakter khusus, ya kan, khusus untuk di region itu aja. Sebenarnya kalian tuh bisa lihat dari sini kalau kalian mau tahu bakal karakter apa sih yang di rerun gitu loh. Kalau gue lihat ciri-cirinya ya, gue bisa lihat kesimpulin dari sini. Dari event. Sebenarnya kita bisa lihat dari event gitu loh. Karakter apa sih yang dikasih Hoyoverse untuk kita itu cobain gitu loh. Kalian tinggal tebak aja sebenarnya. Kita sebenarnya tinggal tebak aja. Contohnya itu ini, Kazuha, Navia, Furina, dan juga si Neophyllid, Yelan. Dari semua ciri-ciri Leakers yang lain sebagainya, ada beberapa hero atau beberapa karakter yang memang akan dirirankan ke depannya di page depan gitu, page depan lah. Nah contohnya siapa sih? Kazuha, Neophyllid. Habis itu ada siapa lagi? Wiro dan juga Furina kemungkinan bakal ada. Dan juga siapa? Navia, Yelan. Itu banyak banget kan yang bilang bahwasanya mereka tuh bakal riran. Jadi di sini kalian bisa lihat sih sebenarnya kalian bakal dikasih coba siapa sih kira-kira gitu loh di event berikutnya, biar kalian tuh bisa nyobain gitu loh. Dalam artian kalian bisa nyobain, jadi kedepannya ketika kalian gacha kalian udah dapet perhitungan gitu loh. Gue bawa gacha si dia dan gue mau gacain. Istilahnya tuh kita kayak dikasih coba nggak sih sebenarnya? Atau ini sebuah kebetulan aja? Cuman gue nggak tahu ya. Tapi gini cocologi gue aja sih, cocok logi gue lah ya. Seperti yang kalian tahu bahwasanya akan ada Kazuha dan juga si Neophyllid yang bakal rerun. Ya kalian tahu sendirilah ya, akun-akun Leakers segala sesuatunya tuh udah nyebar hal itu. Ditambah si Yelan dan juga si Navia ini kemungkinan juga bakal rerun. Dan Line ini juga seharusnya udah dapat rerunnya dia, karena dia karakter baru di Fontaine. Dan Furina juga dikabarkan bakal rerun juga gitu loh. Jadi menurutku karakter trial tersedia ini bisa jadi contoh atau bisa jadi petunjuk bagi kita siapa sih yang bakal rerun ke depannya. Mungkin itu kali ya. Oke. Ini event baru by the way. Dan ini bakal kebuka 3 hari kemudian untuk bisa nyelesain secara maraton. Dan ya Hutau nggak rerun. Ini sih masih kemungkinan di phase pertama ya Furia. Di phase pertama mungkin di 4.5 nya. Belum tentu di 4.6 itu bakal sama seperti yang terjadi dan lain sebagainya. Bisa aja Hutau kan gue bilangnya ini tuh karakter yang memang bakal rerun di banner B5 limited, bukan di banner spesial. Katanya di banner Hutau kan bakal ada di banner spesial ya. Banner spesial tuh di banner yang ketiga kan. Jadi kemungkinan Hutau nggak masuk di trial karena apa ya, itu tadi karena dia bakal masuk di banner spesial atau banner ketiga. Jadi kemungkinan banner yang karakter yang dikasih ke kita tuh di banner yang pertama dan juga phase pertama, phase kedua gitu loh, kemungkinan itu. Tapi kalau untuk banner yang ketiga kemungkinan bisa dibilang bahwasanya banner ketiga atau banner spesial itu nggak dimasukin ke karakter trial. Mungkin ya, ini masih spekulasi aja. Cuman kalau memang kita urutkan waktu dulu, Raiden kan juga dikasih coba ya di eventnya Fontaine juga yang awal-awal dulu. Terus habis itu dikasih akhirnya Raiden rerun. Terus habis itu siapa lagi ya, disuruh coba di event-event yang terdahulu. Sebenarnya kita bakal bisa tahu ke depannya event yang bakal dikasih Hoyoverse tuh event yang bagaimana dan karakter apa sih yang bakal disuruh kita trial. Apakah itu termasuk yang akan diriran, itu bisa kita lihat ke depannya gitu loh. Bisa kita lihat ke depannya sih karakter trial yang tersedia tuh siapa. Kemungkinan itu adalah karakter yang akan rerun di phase ke depan. Oke? Gitu aja sih guys. Coba cocologi aja ya, kita lihat aja ke depannya ya. Rerunnya tuh karakter trial yang bakal dikasih Hoyoverse tuh karakter apa aja ke depannya di event ke depan. Kalau emang bener berarti ya mungkin kita bisa lihat dari itu juga, dari sini juga. Untuk karakter yang bakal rerun tuh seperti ke depannya tuh siapa aja. Tukang kubur kambing, anjir, tukang kubur kambing. Tunggu aja besok kelihatan Hutau nongol di event ini. Tukang kubur kambing sama Mbak. Sebenarnya bisa dilihatnya tuh ini guys, di Pyro ini loh, di Pyro ya. Kita nggak tahu kan karakter Pyro ini yang kebuka itu bakal siapa. Terus karakter ini kan sih terkait karakter ini. karakter Pyro ini nggak tahu ini bakal kebuka siapa, apakah ada Huto atau enggak. Tinggal dilihat aja sih ke depannya. Dendro ini bakal ada alah hitam atau enggak, kita nggak tahu ya, dilihat aja terlebih dahulu. Kalau memang ada ya berarti kita tinggal lihat dari event-event berikutnya siapa yang bakal dikasih trial, yaitu mungkin yang bakal di-run. Oke, guys, itu bakal sampai kapan sih eventnya? 10 hari 4 jam. Oke, masih ada waktu lah ya. Oke guys, sampai jumpa di next live. Terima kasih bagi kalian semua yang udah nemenin gue sampai jam segini. Bahkan udah mau jam 12 atau jam 23 ya. Gue minta maaf banget bahwasanya kalau malam banget ya guys ya. Terima kasih bagi kalian semua yang udah bantuin gue untuk udah bantuin gue sampai di malam ini. Gue berterima kasih sekali. Sampai jumpa di next live. Jangan lupa untuk like, subscribe, dan juga komennya sudah sih, like sama subscribe-nya aja. Dan kalian kalau suka sama videoku, kalian bisa bagikan ke sosmed kalian atau ke teman-teman kalian semua gitu loh. Dan gue bakal ngadain untuk gratis 1 welkin. Gue cuman bisa ngasih apresiasi ke kalian tuh 1 welkin terlebih dahulu. Gue minta maaf kalau emang itu belum sesuai ekspektasi kalian. Tapi nanti kalau emang di gacha Kazuha kita udah sampai di 300 subscriber, kemungkinan gue bukan kemungkinan sih, 300 subscriber gue bakal kasih kalian hadiah 1 welkin. Nah, untuk syaratnya nanti gue bakal kasih tahu di pergajaannya si Kazuha. Oke guys. Oke, see you next time. Terima kasih bagi kalian semua. Jangan lupa untuk istirahat dan juga minum vitamin yang banyak. Terima kasih bagi yang donate juga. Terima kasih Kak Naoki, terima kasih Kak Ether. Terima kasih bagi viewersku juga. Terima kasih loh guys. Tanpa kalian gue nggak ada apa-apanya sih. Terima kasih banget. Makasih ya. Sampai jumpa. Selamat istirahat. Sehat-sehat ya guys.